presents the Bay Area Brawler, Skylar Greenberg, and your Colonial champion, Sean McCoy. Welcome to the Court-Martail Podcast!
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, to the Court-Martail Podcast. We sometimes do things, and this is one of those times where we do a thing. And this thing is reviewing Survivor Series War Games. And perhaps posthumously, just like Ozzy Osbourne, as that kind of sad, dark joke is exactly the kind of overwhelming melancholy that we are feeling as wrestling fans, but we are going to try and pep up our spirits, point and laugh at things that are funny, and have a good time. I am your Colonial champion, Sean McCarty, not manically despondent, but in fact, your host here today. But I am not here alone, as I cry one pure Indian tear at the state of the wrestling business. I now pass it over to my co-host, who is not from the Bay Area today because he decided to be sick. So everybody boo Skylar for doing something that he can't control. But while you are shaming Skylar, let me pass it off to the other show, the sister program, the bottom to my top, the cream of the crop, or at least the cream that gets, well, no, it gets the cream from my crop. TAW's JoshAgeddon.
Hey, Skylar, I have a message for you.
Go yourself.
Maybe that's a little harsh.
Maybe that was before the 2-minute mark. So you may or may not hear that filter depending on how passionately I want to edit this program. But
yes, it is I, JoshAgeddon, and I just have one question for you here. Is 2025 over yet? Please. God,
no, sadly no, and I feel like the worst is coming. I feel, yeah, I mean, listen, what we're about to review, was it the worst Survivor Series in the world? No. Was it the worst War Games in the world? No. But, God, am I just burnt out of this company.
Me too,
this
honestly. Speaking of worst of all time, welcome to the worst podcast of all time, the TAP. Might as well tap out. Kind of like WWE's making us do on a regular basis these days.
Yeah, you know, it's funny how it changed from it's so bad it'll make you tap out to you might as well just tap out.
There's no point in caring.
Yeah, you might as well not even get through the rest of it. But it is worth listening to us, because we have opinions that are completely valid and valuable to the state of the wrestling business. But we would be joined, you know, we were teasing about Skylar earlier, but our dear friend, the Bay Area Brawler Skylar, is sick. He wanted to send notes. We'll read his little half-assed text to the group chat at the end of the show. So we'll save the little small droplet of Skylar that we get here this week for last. In the meantime, JoshAgeddon, your overall thoughts about Survivor Series 2025 from San Diego, also known as a whale's vagina.
I don't know how to respond to that.
It's an anchor. Editor, put in the Anchorman clip.
Discovered by the Germans in 1904, they named it San Diego, which of course in German means a whale's vagina.
I'm sure you'll be surprised, but I haven't seen that movie, either of them.
Second one's not worth your time. The first one's pretty funny. Go ahead.
Well, before we really get into it, it's a problem when we were discussing this before we started recording. When I want to skip half the show, that's a problem. Just saying.
When there's only 4 matches on a big 4 card.
Can you imagine holding a stadium show where like 40,000 or however many, I can't remember the number, X amount of people show up to a live stadium show and you have 4 matches?
Yeah. This was pretty rough.
My conundrum that I was faced with was I did not want to watch anything the women were a part of on this show. which is very par for the course for me, I guess.
I don't blame you. Well, it's not just you, JoshAgeddon. I mean, think about how much we have discussed this at length, all three of us, over the past 5 years of this program.
Outside of a handful of women, women's wrestling is awful. I hate it. It doesn't draw. No one cares about it. The only people that care about women's wrestling are weirdos on Twitter /X.
Incels.
And the women wrestlers themselves.
Incels.
No one else cares. And I'm done with women's gimmick matches like War Games. I'm probably going to skip the Women's Rumble. I'm probably going to skip the Women's Elimination Chamber next year.
But JoshAgeddon, equality! We must have equality!
I would rather have equality of quality. But we're not getting that. Because like there are like like Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky, and a handful of others are actually good. The rest aren't, and it makes wrestling bad. It drags it down. And I was faced with, do I skip Women's War Games or do I skip Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella because Nikki Bella makes me want to vomit? And I was like, okay, if Nikki Bella wins the belt, God forbid, I'm skipping that match and I'll just have to endure War Games. But, spoilers, I guess, if you care.
By the time the end of the show, I mean, you're going to know by the end of this program anyway, if you don't already. It's been several days.
So since Stephanie retained, I skipped Women's War Games. So I feel like my life expectancy is better off than if I watched Women's War Games. But still, you had 3 matches left over, and they were all fine. This show was there. It was the embodiment of the phrase, well, that was a show that happened.
It was whelming. It was whelming. It was not overwhelming. It was not underwhelming. It was just whelming.
It was perfectly whelming.
Yes. But I will say, as I apparently break down the entirety of the women's or ladies spot fest as I wrote it down by myself. But I will, the first thing I wrote down for War, my overall thoughts of this show were, it's hard to care about anything right now. And it's really just it's kind of the culmination of everything that's happened this year. You know, the drastic decline. I mean, I had to go to therapy. I had to go to wrestling therapy on this channel because of how bad things had how badly this entire thing was fumbled. From John Cena's final year to his heel turn to The Rock to Jey Uso to Jey Uso to Jey Uso to Jey Uso, we'll get to him, to just the way that they've just shilled out for all the ads, to the price gouging, to the ESPN deal, you know, to just everything. Just it was like, and we've said this. You and I have both said this, and Skylar has as well. I mean, when we were reviewing stuff all year, it's like they're trying to push us out. It's like it's getting harder and harder to care. And we are not the only ones who have this opinion.
Dude, that people have named like the quote-unquote era of right now the ruthless depression era.
Well, and the sad thing is, ultimately, you would think that because WWE has lost so much steam that another company could benefit from it, right? Padme meme. Another company could benefit from it, right?
Yeah, about that. Apparently, Full Gear happened. I just know that Samoa Joe won the world title. Good for him.
Well, thank God Vince Russo's back with the Juggalos to make sure that wrestling is right again. You know, what has happened? What has happened in 2025? We were doing so well for a good year and change.
I saw a tweet.
Happened?
I saw a tweet yesterday that summed it up perfectly. The Triple H of NXT Black and Gold and the Triple H of 2024. What happened? Where'd he go? Tell him to come back.
Well,
2025 Triple H sucks.
Well, tragically, they went the same route of one-dimensionality. You know, and then once everybody saw it, they were kind of done with it. You know, and the problem is, Triple H literally has... You know how Eric Bischoff used to say there's only 7 angles in wrestling? Triple H books 7 angles in wrestling, period.
Yeah.
They're all the same, and they're all executed the same way. It's not even the problem isn't even doing the similar angles. Of course, you could do similar angles in similar times depending on the context of the people involved. That's wrestling. But they're all the same way. It's the same black hoodie. It's the same jumping over the cage. It's the same look over the shoulder.
Garbage of all the gimmicks for Io Sky to have, her being crammed in a garbage can.
Well, let's get into it, huh? Well, yeah, that's all. The sad thing.
You can get into it.
Well, then sit back.
I'll join you when the man we can't see is seen on this program.
Well, sit back
because
and
as I've stated, I hate women's wrestling at this point. Fuck this first match.
Well, get your Ravino ready and pull your pants down because it's a lady spot fest. Mm-hmm. And now, I have to admit something here. This is the first time I've ever done this, and I recommend everyone who ever has an opportunity to watch the show in the manner in which I saw it, which is a good way to watch wrestling, is to put the show at 1.5 speed. You will no, trust me. It is worth it. Because the entrance music is a lot funnier. So first of all, that's
you don't
funny.
Have to sit through as much agony.
But it hurts less. It genuinely hurts less. I swear to God, I watched most of the show on 1.5 speed. And only when I had to go back and see certain spots that I go back and put it regular. And you know what? I'm not upset about it. I missed nothing. I saw everything I wanted to see. The only thing I didn't have was enough time to write down all my notes. But I will do my best to recall the high points.
This match had those?
Well, Charlotte Flair was first.
I repeat, this match had those?
Followed by...
unlikely, my dear friend.
Followed by Asuka. So
Are you sure this match had those?
No, when I say that I enjoyed this match, I enjoyed it for all the wrong reasons. You know, it was like, make me laugh, not I'm taking this seriously. Because if you want to hear me yell about taking these shows seriously, we've got 5 years of backlogs of episodes to take a look at. I'm not doing that anymore.
5 years of us wanting to take this seriously, a grand total of 1.5 years, they were like, all right, let's cater to the people that want to take this seriously.
Yeah.
We are not currently in that time period.
Yeah, nope. I've kind of just given up hope on it. That wrestling will just never be consistently good from anywhere. So it's like, might as well just laugh at some silliness while we're on the way. I mean, I watched an episode of 2000 WCW Nitro and actually kind of enjoyed it. And there will be a bonus episode of CMP where I go through that episode. It's the November 27th, 2000 episode, which, by the way, was after most of the major damage had been done. So it was basically just all in the falling action at that point. But it'll be interesting. It's a nice little insight to see how both companies now took a lot from that era of WCW, and it's really kind of sad. Anyway, Charlotte and Asuka start. Michael Cole says, well, keep in mind, folks, this match isn't officially underway. Then the bell rings. Now, what Cole meant was that the match doesn't start until all 10 women are in the ring, and then William Regal screams from the back, War Games! And then they start. Or Alicia Taylor does something with her hair. I don't know, I skipped all of it. Even at 1.5 speed, I'm not tolerating that.
Dude, I regret to inform you that the matches I did watch, I did not get to my remote on time to mute the TV, and I had to endure Alicia Taylor. And I was talking about my life expectancy earlier. It's pretty poor as of right now.
Well, then, the good thing you didn't see the collar.
What's heard cannot be unheard.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't see the collar and elbow tie-up that Charlotte and Asuka did. Now, to be fair to them, they did one, but Asuka, I don't even think Asuka's ever learned what a collar and elbow tie-up is. Charlotte did her half fine, but Asuka's was big booty bad, and it was not that. But they gave me a collar and elbow tie-up, so I'm not going to complain.
There were several, well, in the matches I did watch, there were collar and elbow tie-ups.
Funnily enough, it was the War Games match. And yeah, actually, the only one that didn't was the women's title match.
Shocker.
Well,
Nikki Bella doesn't know what that means.
Yeah, well, that's, to be fair, she's done it once or twice, but when whoever she was working with was superior. But anyway, we get a nice cartwheel clothesline from Charlotte. Charlotte did these like sitting leg ranas. I don't know whether she's been doing this lately on television, where she's been like grabbing the woman's head in a head scissors with her legs, but she's like rolling on her back and then flipping forward so their whole body lands like flat. It was.
I couldn't tell you. Whenever I do watch the TV shows, I usually skip Charlotte.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking to the wrong guy here, but I don't know. I don't know whether she does that on the regular, but I liked it. I like how Charlotte is trying to like change up her style a little, not a lot, but a little, and I appreciate that. And then Io Sky, the Trash Queen, is next. And
she's so much better than this gimmick of I'm gonna put on a trash can and jump.
I agree, and she's over as fuck. She is over as hell. It does not matter with Io. And but I must say, Io, the babyfaces having the advantage in War Games is just still strange. You know, it just doesn't feel right. You know, because like it just feels better. Like the heels should have the advantage, so the babyfaces fight from underneath. But I don't know. It just sometimes it works with the babyfaces getting the advantage. I don't know. Maybe it's not a hill that's worth dying on anymore. So I don't know. I don't care. Io slipped while walking on the ropes, but recovered pretty decently to finish with a clothesline. Buy the custom trash can lid on WWEshop.com for $59.99. And actually, yeah, so Io came in with the custom trash can lid that had her name on it. But just the trash can lid.
Like, was there like logos on the trash can lid?
It was a white trash can lid with red imprint that said Io Sky on it. It looked like Batista's tights, honestly, but with Io Sky and a trash. Like, if you're looking for the way that like the name Io Sky was presented.
That's so stupid.
It's not yet. It's not. But Io Sky came in with her own trash can, and I hope they sell trash cans to WWE fans, because they will be selling themselves to themselves. Mm. Anyway, yes, I just called myself trash. I'll tell you what.
I can't wait to see trash cans, like people dressed up as trash cans in the crowd.
Yeah, you know what? I would advocate for that. If everybody showed up if everyone showed up in custom Io Sky trash cans and they all looked like Oscar from Sesame Street, all in the front row, a green shirt guy, green shirt guy is Oscar.
You're watching wrestling with someone who doesn't watch wrestling, and there's just a bunch of trash cans in the crowd. How do you explain that to them?
Well, everyone says wrestling is trash, and I'm here to validate that.
It's like when Cody Rhodes was doing the undashing thing where he was bagging people, and there were people in the audience with just bags on their faces.
Just bags on their heads. They just all started showing up with it. I have
a friend that never watched wrestling before, and he's just like, why is the front row just people with bags on their heads? And you're just like, I don't know.
Because wrestling fans are morons sometimes in the best way possible.
Wrestling sucks. I don't know why I like it, but I do.
It sucks in the best way possible. But you know what? Despite all of that, Io is still over. And then Io pushes Asuka's face into the steel. Becky's entrance music is not better at 1.5 speed. It is not.
You don't like a song where the person screams like this the entire time.
See, I thought that whiny ass Gerard Way bullshit was gonna grow on me, and it just hasn't. It just hasn't. But Becky comes in and she's carrying a kendo stick because everybody went to the hardware store before the matchup this time. And that's only because everyone's stopping at the hardware store before they get in the cage in the main event, and they didn't want to do that twice. But this is BYOW. Bring your own weapon.
At least it goes to like the whole, why are these weird weapons under the ring? I mean, at least they're bringing their own weapon.
Yeah, but I wish that they had said that, you know, because then I would have brought something. You know, so if it's BYO anything, you got to let the public know about that. So everybody could have brought their crutches and their, you know, whatever else is in there, their replica belts. And I'm waiting for the day that somebody takes a replica belt from a fan and hits somebody with it. I've been dying for that.
You can do that in the games.
I know you can do that in the games, but nobody ever does it in real life. I've never seen that actually happen in real life, even from a plant.
I want someone to just use it's been too long since someone's used a stop sign as a weapon.
Yeah, well, Jeff Hardy did. Sign. Well, we need to get Pink Guy in here with a giant ass clock, but but everyone brings a weapon, and it was at this point that I said, and I texted this into the chat too, I miss the old school Lethal Lockdown where nobody had weapons until the cage lid lowered. Mm-hmm. And then everybody grabbed shit and they did spots on top of the cage door. And it was such a good added element. Because if we want to use weapons, let it happen when everybody's in the ring. Let it be a culmination, not, oh, let me bring a kendo stick in. And then let somebody else bring a chair in. And then let somebody else bring in, you know, and Rhea Ripley comes in doing her best new Jack the Terrifier impression in a little bit. I mean, we're not there yet, but in any case, Becky gets her kendo stick. I miss Lethal Lockdown. I said hashtag no more kendo, and then right after I said, fuck it, why bother having standards?
I was just about to say, hey, Sean, what happened to that campaign of yours?
Whatever.
We're so defeated.
Why bother?
Episode.
Yeah, it's why bother.
Even though you were like, I'm going to try to be optimistic. This is stupid. Why should we care? Let's point and laugh. But there's still an undercurrent of, I'm so sad.
It is. I mean,
the cause has been lost.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. It feels like it's just, I've never felt so defeated about just the whole industry and and the whole medium of entertainment that I have right now. You know, but then it turned around because then I got a chuckle because Asuka pulls Charlotte's hair and Asuka goes, it was just, I don't know what it was. It was this shriek, but it was guttural and it was just funny.
I will say the only thing I like about Asuka right now is her thing, this ongoing bit with Kairi where Kairi's trying to be nice to someone and off screen you can hear Asuka go, Kairi! And Kairi freaks out and runs away. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, there's little bits of that is fun. I mean, well, then it comes after that because Becky Lynch goes after Charlotte because they're still in the 2-on-1, or goes after Io, and I forget what she does to her, but then Becky goes up to the camera, and she's so gassed. She's trying to, talk smack, but this is all I got. Wrestler. And then just goes back to punching Io Sky. It was indecipherable. I got female wrestler. I think best female wrestler was somewhere in there, and that was all that could be deciphered.
Sports Illustrated.
No, it was so funny. Oh Lord, it was good. No, it was indecipherable. All I got was
indiscernible Irish yelling.
Yes, Becky not helping the drunken Irish stereotype whatsoever here in this matchup. Not helping the cause. Then in comes Alexa Bliss. Who does a series of punches and slaps that actually look pretty good, which were all right hands, but slaps to the face and then right hands. And I forgot, Alexa Bliss, sometimes I forget just how good she can be when she's in the right situation. Mm-hmm. She sells being small the best. Nobody else sells being a small girl quite like she does. But what she did all these rights and slaps, and Michael Cole says, "Oh, a flurry of rights and lefts." Her left hand was nowhere near who she was punching, which was Becky.
We're crossing the Rubicon with Michael Cole. He's seeing things that aren't there.
Then we get tandem spots with Alexa and Charlotte, which includes your favorite and mine, a double natural selection. Which, when it happened, I said, you know what? we are still a long way from anyone pinning somebody, so there's no way it can beat someone, so I don't care. And Alexis looked better than Charlotte's.
Of course. Naturally.
Naturally, selectively.
Yes.
Io, I don't know whether Io meant to do this or not. She was trying to do an uppercut that I think was also supposed to be an open palm strike, but she completely missed Becky, so it looks like she just stuck her front 2 fingers up Becky's nose. And Becky takes a bump.
Stop trying to convince me to watch this.
It was so close. See what I'm saying, though? There was just some funny stuff in this. And she was just too far away from Becky, and then it was just fingers up the nose and Becky
was digging
bumps.
for some of that Irish gold.
Yeah, I know. Well, and then Kyrie comes in with a chain but no pirate hat, and I said, good, because it's my fucking gimmick. But, this is bring your own weapon in full effect. She brings a full-blown chain and just starts whipping everybody with it.
Good.
And then there's this nice spot where there's a missile drop kick from Asuka onto Io, which was then, I think Kyrie did, a German suplex back, and Io landed on her own trash can lid. Flips page. Then Kyrie ties Alexa and Charlotte up like Scooby-Doo villains with the chain. And then they do a double drop kick. And I don't know whether I missed it. Maybe, I think it happened earlier here. Let's see if I could find where it was. But at some point, Charlotte and Io were doing a tag team, and I'm not seeing it here yet. So it must have been earlier. But Charlotte has I forget who it is. Charlotte. Oh no, it might have been Rhea. No, it's coming. I'm sorry, it's coming. Forgive me, I'm trying to scan through my notes because that's the funniest spot of the thing in my opinion. Here comes AJ Lee. Controversial / warm opinion take matter. AJ Lee's music is not good. And never has been.
I think it's fine.
It works for her, but I'm not a fan. That's just me. But she does her...
even more slightly warmer, maybe even hotter opinion take combination. I don't like AJ Lee at all, regardless of her music.
I don't know. She did stuff. I didn't really feel like she was a major impact in this thing either way. She came in, she climbs in, she does her little hi, I'm kind of crazy, but I've very much demonstrated I'm not because I went to therapy. Doesn't that kind of kill the crazy lady gimmick a little bit? Just a little.
No, because she had to do the add-on of I'm a woke, progressive crazy lady.
No.
So, of course, I have to talk about therapy in every promo. Sean, you're mansplaining.
Does she do it in every promo? I don't listen. I don't watch the shows.
She got in one of her first promos back, she got the crowd to chant therapy.
No, that I remember, which I thought was kind of funny.
And that made me kind of want to go to therapy.
Well, then mission accomplished, yeah.
So I guess maybe she did what she came to do.
Yeah, well, Becky holds yeah, you're going to love this, especially because you've seen the main event. So AJ comes in and Becky holds the door shut. We wouldn't see that later in the night, would you? And then AJ has to climb over the top. That's right, it was not original when you saw it, my friend. I hate to be the one to bear the bad tidings.
It's okay, I forgive you.
But
you didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I sure didn't.
You would have booked it better.
I would have, maybe.
By not booking it at all.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. That's definitely true. That my game won't let me. For a reason. But anyway, AJ climbs in when Becky holds the door. They fight. There's an AJ and Asuka stare down that they expected to get a reaction that did not. It was like, oh, these two, they just missed each other when they came in, and literally the crowd was like, no, we don't care. Book it, don't book it, we could give a fuck. That was really how San Diego responded. I don't know. They were fast in my eyes, so I don't know for sure. Then comes Nia Jax looking like a box of Good and Plenty. And I must admit, but in all fairness to Nia, this might be the best shape she's ever been in WWE. Like, to her credit, she looks good. She's in good shape. For her, she's in good shape. But anyway, that's all I wrote about her, because that was about as much as we got. But she was doing Nia stuff. Was it offensive? Not especially. Was it funny? Not especially. It was just Nia stuff.
She didn't try to give someone a Hurricane Rana this time.
No Hurricane Rana, no crappy bad chair shots to the face like last year. None of that. It was just kind of, hip checks and taunting.
Why didn't I skip women's war games last year? That's the question. Because I still remember that.
Yeah, none of us know. Rhea still gets a great pop. I wrote down Terrified D's nuts. I don't know why.
Got him!
And apparently, I don't know why. But that's what happened. But she's doing her Terrifier thing. She's going through her Terrifier phase. Good for her.
Sean.
She's got a mask. She's got a Terrifier mask on that makes her look like the Phantom of the Opera. And
well, it's because she broke her nose. This is just her thing. Whenever it's like November, she's like, "Oh, I gotta break my nose just in time for war games."
Yeah, and I don't really think it works. I mean, I know, but you know what? Who cares? Go play costumes. Whatever. Rhea brings in the rest of Io's trash can with like 4 more weapons in it, New Jack in it. And with emphasis on Jack in it. As Rhea, not by me, but the whole thing is rather masturbatory in my opinion.
Sounds like it.
But Rhea comes down with the trash can, which is also painted white and has Io's name on it. Keep in mind. So this is the rest of Io's trash can that Rhea is bringing to the ring.
So stupid.
And this is where I wrote down. And I made this reference to you before, but for those of you who remember 2006 DX, particularly the episode of Raw where DX defaced the plane, and then they defaced the Titan Towers in Stamford, and right before Vince and Shane get into the limo, Vince looks at Shane and he goes,
I think DX is... I think they've broken me.
And that's how I feel. And it's Triple H and Shawn Michaels' fault. It's their fault. This is not... This is not inaccurate.
It is a very accurate reference.
So
very time appropriate.
Yes, and then, well, stay tuned. We might be seeing Vince before Hell or High Water. But in any case, and if we do, ladies and gentlemen, we will do a podcast about that. Trust me, because Skyler, once he takes his sensu bean, will want to say some words. I'm sure. But then comes the dumb spot, which made me laugh, or one of them. Rhea Ripley has Kairi Sane held up like by her legs, and she's got like her legs around her waist, and she's holding her back so that Kairi's like back is torqued and her head is up, almost like in a chin lock. So Io Sky starts like chug-a-lugging and runs the ring ropes no less than 5 times back and forth, and then hits a drop kick to Kairi. And it was so, like, 1 would have been fine, 2 would have been fine, 3, what are you doing? 4, Io, stop. 5, it made me laugh. It made me laugh, and it should have made me mad, but I was just like, we're so done. We're so dead. But I don't know, help me.
My summary of this match. Help. I require assistance.
Yeah.
I'm falling and I can't get up.
Well, and while this is going on, everyone else is in the selling ring. Which is where they all go and lay there until the next spot shows up. You will not understand this, but I will say it anyway, so that Skylar can accost me later on. Lash Legend comes out last, and she looks like if Angel Reese wasn't a unibrowed mule.
I did get that because unfortunately I do know who Angel Reese is. That girl who kind of looks like Sid the Sloth.
That's the one. That's the one.
Also, since you came in last, does that make her last legend?
I did laugh at the alliteration of Lash Legend last when I wrote it down. But I must admit, the now fiance of Trick Williams, she's got potential. There's a lot in here. I mean, she's still green. You could tell she's green, but she's got potential. I think there's something that can be done with her. But she comes in and Alexa, she basically pulls up and gives... It was something like a headlock, but it more resembled like Braun Strowman's like original finisher where he just squeezed them in front of him. And Alexa sold it like she just got ragdolled. You know, like she ran out of HP and the character had the ragdoll before the screen reloaded. And she did a great job. I mean, that's where I said, like, Alexa sells being small better than anybody else. Lash Legend and Rhea Ripley got some intrigue from the crowd when they teased that a little bit.
Because they're two big, tall, muscular, intimidating women.
Well, and the potential of what Lash Legend could possibly be, and knowing what Rhea Ripley actually is. You know, that could be a hell of a billing later on in Lash's career, depending on how it goes. And, although I must admit, Bret Hart is kind of right about the palm strikes. I don't know about the Vince and Shawn fucking stuff, but he might be right about the palm strikes. I'm not ruling out that other part, by the way. I'm just mentioning specifically in this moment the palm strikes. As, because a lot of these women, and a lot of the guys too, it's not really... I don't know why Bret singled out Sheamus when he said it, but it's where they get real close to a punch in the gut, but then they just open their palm, and I know why they do it, because there's a bigger sound to it. Mm-hmm. You get a bigger clap, and you hear that flap, and everyone likes a satisfying flap. Ask Gunther's thighs. Or actually anything Gunther does, really. But then Lash Legend does a brogue kick that they've named something else for her that I've forgotten because I called it a brogue kick. Then we get a moment where Lash Legend is green, but this made me laugh too. So Nia Jax and Lash Legend do a double powerbomb on the Charlotte and Alexa, and they both go to stack them up for the pin. And Jessica Carr pins 1-2. AJ kicks Nia and Alexa's out at 1. I'm sorry. But because Lash is still got Charlotte covered, Jessica Carr doesn't continue the pin for the other pinfall, so Lash Legend just gives up, and she just pulls Charlotte away. It's like, all right, I guess we're doing something else instead of continuing with the pin. And it's like, that's everybody's fault. Because Jessica Carr was directly in between both covers to see both pairs of shoulders. And just once AJ kicked one pin out, that was just the end of it.
Operating on 2K referee rules where if you do 2 pins at once, the referee just gives up.
Yeah. And and so did Lash, and it's not her fault because, like, she's green, and, like, what are you supposed to do? And it was clear that Lash was trying to follow Nia. Like, most of the time.
And she's just sitting there like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah, I guess we're just doing something else then.
Please.
I guess, yeah, so it was it was just a funny moment. And then Becky again, I'm glossing here if you can believe it. Becky waited either on purpose or not, but Becky had AJ ready for the manhandle slam, but where the camera was shot, Io Sky was on the top rope right in front of the camera. So Becky waited like 0.2 seconds for Io Sky to get out of the shot and then hit the manhandle slam. And I don't know whether that was on purpose or not, but the timing of it was impeccable. It was, Becky was like, you could almost sense, Io, get the fuck out of the shot.
The people at home have to see me get my shit in.
Yeah, her manhandle slam to AJ. And then and then Rhea Ripley got Piper parried. And the people who know what I mean by that.
I'm not one of them.
Rhea Ripley was in the ring alone with all 5 other women. But then Asuka tried to do the mist, but she hit Lash by mistake. Then here comes the trash can spot. Well, take a guess. Without even knowing what happened. Tell me what happened with the Io Sky trash can spot.
Io went to the top of the cage and put the trash can lid on.
With her name on it. With her name on it.
Yeah, she did. This is quickly becoming the Kofi Kingston at the Royal Rumble trying to save.
That's exactly what this is. She only does it once a year, and it's right here.
And just like that spot, I'm sick of it.
Well, it was a swanton this time to change it up. So it was not a moonsault.
You know what would really change it up? If we had a women's War Games match and she didn't do that.
Or, we just didn't do women's War Games matches, but...
Sean, we don't live in that kind of world.
I know we don't.
Where we get good things, like good wrestling shows.
But the swanton itself was actually kind of nice, because it landed. And B, everybody got hit by something that was mostly Io's ass, so nobody really got hit by the trash can, which also is kind of sad, but, they want to sell that trash can, I'm sure. But anyway, then Io Sky lands on everybody except Becky, who sees everybody laid down like bowling pins, and the camera gets a good shot of Becky, like, looking like, holy shit. It was good facials by Becky. As, she's still a professional, even though the state of women's wrestling is what it is, and I feel like she just won't stop being the same person that she's been. But then, I'm broken. Then everybody hits their finish on Becky, and they gave it to AJ to tap Becky out. And it had some funnies, and the baby faces celebrate, and yeah. Anything to add?
Well, I'm glad I didn't watch that.
I had some lulls, but that's all I could really say out of it. I mean, you can't take that match seriously. You can't. Because they built it kind of haphazardly, but at least that one had some decent, somewhat decent build with the whole storyline that didn't matter ultimately when it came to the match itself. All of the, dissension with the build meant literally nothing when it actually push came to shove and they did stuff. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte did some double spots. Everybody was friends. And then it ended. Well, welcome to the show, JoshAgeddon. How are you today?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Totally Awesome Podcast. My name is JoshAgeddon. And we're talking about Survivor Series 2025, which unfortunately they decided to do War Games again. I'm sad. Sean is also sad, but he's so sad that he's broken and now he's laughing, and I'm kind of concerned. So call your nearby therapist and send them to Connecticut. Please, we're running out of time.
Yeah, AJ, who's your guy, AJ?
Yeah. No, don't get AJ's therapist, because then you'll start voting Democrat, and then I'll be outnumbered between you, Sean, and Skylar.
Well, I'm Sean, and I will withhold from commenting due to the nature of my other enterprises and empires, therefore integrated into something related to political stock in investments. And it's John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio. What did you think about this match?
This was also fine. It was basically the exact same match that they had on Raw a couple weeks ago, which was also fine.
I didn't see it.
This whole show didn't feel so much like a pay-per-view. Oh, sorry, premium live event.
This show could have been an email.
Honestly, this could have been an episode of Raw or SmackDown, and nobody would have been the wiser.
Yeah, if there was one summary of the show, this show could have been an email.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. We didn't need
really
a meeting.
Of consequence happened. Kind of like this. Although the one thing that stuck out to me more than anything else in this match, dear God, Lee Fitting, when Dominic Mysterio's doing the 619, especially on someone like John Cena who's not very good at taking headshots, can you find a different angle to shoot from? These 619s to John Cena looked so awful.
You would think of after Lee Fittings had the entire year to figure out how to to avoid John Cena's weaknesses on camera that he would have gotten a little bit better with that.
Like every time the camera was in the same exact spot, right on Cena's head, and Dom's legs just gently, like, it was like he was gently brushing what's left of Cena's hair.
John Cena's latest tribute to Karrion Kross with his beaker haircut. One more tribute to somebody that John Cena had literally no interaction with. But
as a whole, this match was fine. It was very, very average.
See, I didn't have a problem with it. You know, it was like you said, it was fine. I really kind of didn't have a whole ton to say about this because, again, 1.5 speed. Yeah. So, Dom lures the ref. Roxanne Perez trips John. I said, I can't wait until Dominic is on his own with Liv Morgan and the Judgment Day is just done. It's just lasted too long.
I cannot believe that the Judgment Day is still a thing.
It's gone on for too long. It is curdled. That milk has so curdled.
Like, you literally had Dom pin Finn Balor at WrestleMania for the title. And the next episode of Raw, Finn was like, it's all right, you did what you had to do. And then they just moved on.
After teasing that for like 6 months. And after doing a Finn Balor and Damian Priest finish 6 times in a row. Yeah.
I want this faction to die.
This year needs to be studied by historians. But
like there's like doing a slow burn and quote unquote letting things cook, but
no, they just let it smolder
for so long that it is charcoal black and you set the house on fire.
No, they've just smoldered it. Now it's just smoldering ash. It just burned into the fire. It's like it's just turned into nothing. Same thing when they had Gable and Otis, where they could have made something out of that. And I felt bad for Otis, and the Triple H is making me feel bad about wrestlers I hate. And I don't hate them. To be fair, I don't hate them.
The thing with New Day.
Yeah. Missed up again, all of it. That is
2024 Triple H, where did you go? Come back. I'm sorry. What did we do to make you run away?
We blew his wad, and then The Rock showed up.
Your 2025 counterpart sucks. Take him back.
Yeah. This is what happens when you turn Cena heel.
After a show like this, and then you go on Twitter and you see Triple H tweeting, "This was the biggest Survivor Series of all time." In what respect, other than people at the show who also got bored?
Money. They made more money. That's what matters.
All Triple H tweets about is like this, and I saw something about, guys, get ready for this episode of Raw. It's gonna be epic. Oh, is it Triple H? Oh, is it Paul? Just like Survivor Series was, just like this new era is awesome. Just like the era before that, like a couple months ago when that was a new era. What about the era before that?
I think that's a good call, JoshAgeddon.
Shut up, Tony Schiavone. You were never good.
Well, but,
even back in 2000, you were also just not good.
Well, but that's my point, is Triple H not just a big bearded Kratosy Tony Khan at this point? What's the difference?
He's starting to do everything is great.
Everything's great. There's fewer people there, and the booking is more one-dimensional than it's ever been. But I will say, Raquel had a decent right hand. Getting back to this, man, that was a hell of a right. These yellow eyebrow announce tables are the fucking worst. Just stop it. Get some help. Get some real tables.
I will say I love Dom, and I think he's come a long way, but he needs, like, when they got to, let's do the thing where we're getting heat around the ring by just doing stuff outside the ring. I'm going to slam John Cena's head into the apron, and then I'm going to slam John Cena's head into the desk, and then I'm going to slam his head into the apron, and then I'm going to slam his head into the desk, and then I'm going to slam his head into the apron. I've already slammed his head into the desk a couple times, so I'm just going to slam his head into the... Dom. Slamming his head into the apron 45 times is not the most effective way to get heat.
Then I'm going to do a botch Rana, which was a wild spot, which was clearly a work after it all went down. But
they were playing off of what happened to Penta on Raw about a week ago, which I thought was stupid.
Well,
but
I don't watch the show. And despite your attempts earlier this year to try to get me to watch the show, I ultimately feel validated in not watching the show.
Yeah, I might be joining you.
It's that how the turntables as
no, my how we slam the head into the table.
Yes, how the yellow eyebrow announce table. But then okay, this was one of those times I was trying to laugh and go ha 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 ha. I did get really annoyed at this. But John Cena's trying to give a little bit of something to everybody. I know that's why he's doing it. But isn't Roxanne just a little bit too small to hit her finish on the John? Raquel I got. Because she's got like kind of that China-esque build somewhat. But
yeah, Roxanne hitting pop rocks on John Cena was...
It was just a little too much.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like Roxanne Perez. I love Roxanne Perez. I think she's got a hell of a potential. She's doing great stuff. And I know John means well. But come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, the Tejana bomb would have been enough.
Yeah, and then exactly. And then Dom fakes his injury and Chad Patton's pissed and he goes, "You're out of here," and say goodbye to the ladies.
And refuses to count that one pin.
Yep.
Which that also kind of annoyed me.
Well, and then
but at least he didn't like kick out of a finish. Fast forward 5 minutes later.
Well, hey, we're going. We're still here. We got the 5 moves of doom first. Now, this was a weird circumstance here. Because it was
the crowd sucked at this part, honestly.
John faked out the fans.
John did not fake out the fans. The fans faked themselves out because they're idiots.
Well, he did it. He threw his hand up, and then he did it again, and they all said, "You can't see me," and then he did it on his own and flipped them off, and I thought that was hilarious.
Well, he had to correct them because the fans are idiots. You've watched this man do this exact spot for 2 decades now. How do you mistime it? All of San Diego.
That's where Justin, man, I'm glad I only have 1 date left. I'm glad I'm getting out of here.
I hate everyone on this screen at this point, fans included.
Then we get the STFU. Dom gets to the ropes. Dom does the Eddie Guerrero boot loss spot. 619 frog splash kick out. Puts the boot back on. F you. We get the yay boot punches. We get 2/5 of the 5 moves of doom. And then we get a shoulder block to Chadwick Patton. The Judgment Day Goonies come in, this time the guys.
I will say I like that John Cena fought them off instead of just taking their finishers and kicking out of those two.
Yes.
Because that would have, at that point, I probably would have just been very annoyed.
But it also goes to show that Cena gave more to the women than he did the guys.
Of course.
Which is kind of just an indictment on
Balor.
Four pin Balor. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. 4-pin Balor. He's got 4 pins all up his needles. Anyway.
And all they do is scream Yabu.
Yeah. Oh god. Free Finn. I miss Finn Balor. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah. Anyway, we get the belt whiff and an AA. Liv gets a hell of a pop. Slaps Dom, we get the hug betrayal with the Cena ball shot because that's the only betrayal now that we know how to do.
Yep.
And this is time, what? 4? 5? That they've done that this year? Out of 12 months? And, belt shot.
Are you accusing them of being repetitive, Sean?
Yeah, they may not have any more ideas. I'm criticizing them for being creatively bankrupt. And it is truly fascinating how this company went from creatively bankrupt to the hottest show on television back to creatively bankrupt over the course of 26 months.
Yeah.
It is
The rise and
fascinating.
fall of WWE.
This, I understand peaks and valleys, but it shouldn't be looking like somebody with hypertension. That's not the way wrestling should look.
It shouldn't look like what's the thing that measures earthquakes?
Yeah, the Richter scale.
It shouldn't look like the Richter scale
Yeah.
is measuring like an enormous earthquake.
Yeah, it's not like a lie detector test. So my ultimate takeaways, but then there was something said that even at 1.5 speed, I had to go back and listen to it again, because it was really funny. Wade Barrett says, it's a Romeo and Juliet story. And Michael Cole responds, well, we know what happened to them.
Yeah, I caught that too. That was pretty good.
That was good. Liv is hot, Dom is champ, and all that's left for Cena is Jey Uso.
Shut up. No.
Look, just prepare for it. Be ready for it. Probably as we speak, here at the time of recording, LA Knight is losing to Jey Uso.
While you're talking, I'm actually going to see if that happens.
Go look it up. Look it up. There's no way LA Knight's winning that match. No way. No way that reverse psychology is going to work.
I'm
No.
looking up WWE Raw right
No,
now.
it's going to be on at like the 9 o'clock hour probably. They're not going to start with that.
No, they're wrestling right now.
Well,
they're
stay
wrestling
tuned,
right
folks.
now.
Get ready to hear more. Get ready for another dislike video. Not ours, but theirs. Well, anything else you have to add to this? John Cena leaves. He's
LA
sad.
Knight
One day
won.
left. Did he really?
Yeah, LA Knight won. Thank God.
Oh.
Jey Uso was not retiring John Cena. Thank God.
Oh, I'm so glad that reverse psychology worked. I am so glad. Oh, this is one of the first times that we've done a Raw reaction in real time that we feel actually happy about. And Skylar wasn't even here for it.
Yeah.
You irresponsible prick. How dare you get sick? You better get healthy and better make it quick.
It must have been all of those matches that Jey Uso won this year that they were like, let's upload this to our wonderful little YouTube channel. It's just a never-ending blizzard of dislikes. How many times has that happened to Jey Uso this year?
4? 5?
Like, he beat The Miz, disliked. He beat Rusev, disliked. He won the Rumble, disliked. He won that Battle Royal, disliked.
Yeah. It's
He
brutal.
Tapped out Gunther at WrestleMania. Okay. Remember when we were like, let's see how that finish ages?
Yeah, remember when I said I hated it?
Well, I was the one who was like, well, I don't know how to feel about it. Let's see where we go with that. Remember that episode of SpongeBob where Patrick was like, he ate that really, really, like, stale milk? And it was like, about a week, maybe 10
Yeah,
days.
it's about a week, maybe 10 days.
Yeah, that's how that went.
Yeah.
Well, at least we got some good news on.
How long have we been taking the Jey Uso challenge?
This video will make you yeet in 0.1 seconds.
Triple H is like, where are the fans?
Try not-
Where do you mean you drove them away? It's right there in black and white. See? Right there. And there.
We're all like, well, Triple H, what do you do when we're gone? And Triple H is just like, I'm here waiting for you to get back.
Yeah. He gets
just sad.
he gets Joe Hendry in the middle of Raw and goes, WWE, now I know I was wrong. I messed up, and now you're gone. Oh, if only we had an old grandma to feed us cookies to make us feel better until we got fat.
I know.
Well,
Man.
speaking of women.
Oh, God. Now I'm sad again. No. No, I don't want to talk about it.
No.
I don't care that the match was fine.
It's time.
Why was Nikki Bella in this match, her and her fake tits?
It's time. It's time. Buckle up.
Oh.
It's Nikki Bella versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. And Nikki Bella came out to no pop. And I'll tell you something. You say that there's no politics in WWE, but is there any coincidence that Nikki Bella was chosen to be the John Cena cooldown match?
Sean, you want to know an interesting stat?
Tell me an interesting stat. I love stats.
Do you know who the last person that Nikki Bella beat in a one-on-one match was?
John Cena?
Chelsea Green. In either June or July.
Wow, what momentum she had.
And Chelsea Green's the U.S. champion again. Why are there women's secondary belts?
Because equality.
I hate
Equality.
this company.
Somebody
I
call
hate
Markiplier
this
because it's equality.
Ugh, I hate this company.
It's certainly something. Well,
Yeah, this match. All that said, all of the screaming and wailing and gnashing of teeth. Stephanie Vaquer is still hot,
Vaquer got a pop.
and she also deserves better.
Well, she did all right, though, in this matchup. I mean, for what this could have been, for what this match might have been in the Vince administration's time, it was fine.
I will say, Nikki Bella is marginally better as a heel working over the babyface than a babyface selling for a heel.
Agreed. Very much agreed. And
Yeah.
and there was something, I don't like her sneakers, but she was holding her own in this match. You know, it didn't feel like Vaquer was leading Nikki the whole way through. It really did feel like Nikki held her up her own. Mostly her hands, but we'll get to that. Nikki jumps Steph. There's a leg drop. The headbutts from Stephanie look wild at 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
Headbutt. It's just rapid. But Nikki powders. She's a little upset. There's the miss throat knee on the apron. I'm really getting shorthand with the notes here. There's an armbar counter by Stephanie Vaquer on the ropes, followed by an actually decent spine buster by Nikki. The Devil's Kiss was countered by multiple rolls the first time. Question for you, JoshAgeddon, and I know the answer is why do you care, but I'm going to ask anyway. Why is it when the both competitors are down, the refs don't count both ladies to 10 anymore? Why don't we do that?
Because the art of wrestling has been lost.
Yeah, because it's like, but why not do that?
You know, funnily enough, what show was I watching the other day? I was watching a wrestling show from like 2008, oh yeah, that's right. I was watching Backlash 2007. And there was a singles match. I think it was MVP and Chris Benoit, and there was also Melina versus Mickie James, which was actually pretty decent. There were parts of that match where both competitors were down, and the referee started counting. And I was like, they don't do that anymore.
Nope.
Why?
Good question. That's why I'm asking you. Because I don't have an answer.
I don't know. I do not have an answer for you, Sean.
Unless they just feel like that interrupts the milkage, the potential milkage. And they're like, nah, just lay there for fucking ever. And then get up whenever you feel like it. We got half an hour to 40 minutes per match. We're getting paid billions of dollars to fucking just piss away time. So, but anyway. Now we get to probably the biggest blemish of this match. Do you know the spot I'm talking about?
Does it have to do with kissing the devil?
No. Before that. Nikki
no.
Bella's in the corner, and Stephanie Vaquer comes charging in, and Nikki Bella puts her foot up, and Stephanie just catches it, and then they stop. And they look at each other for a second, and there's this weird-ass pause where somebody, I don't know which one, went, I forgot what to do.
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
Somebody
There
was...
There, you know, whenever someone like is asking you something, like I was asked the other day, like, what do you serve? Like, how much is like the delivery fee at Pizza Hut? And I know the answer, but my brain just went blank.
In that moment...
I'm blanking.
Yep.
Blanking. These two blanked.
So somebody's brain froze. I don't know whose it was, but they finally picked back up with a dragon screw.
Kind of like my internet connection.
Yeah, literally, as folks, because you will only know this on the TAW portion of this because of the miracle that is modern editing. There was a little technological issue, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, that took place just a few short moments ago, and similarly to the buffering required to reboot the internet, both Nikki and Stephanie's brains had to reboot, so they remembered the rest of the match.
I don't know how Stephanie hasn't legitimately injured someone with this dragon screw out of the corner.
Yeah, it looks devastating
every time. And I love how, I can't remember if it was Michael Cole or Wade Barrett on commentary said it was ligament shredding. That's a great way to describe it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And then we get an SVP, which is a 2 count, a Meteora, a Rack Attack 2.0, which is kind of cool, somewhat. 2 count on the ropes. I said kind of cool, somewhat.
I hate that they call it the Rack Attack 2.0. It's not a torture rack. It's
yeah, be clever. Yeah. Be clever. Well, take a drink or a scoop of ice cream, and then this was terrific. I think every woman should sell the Devil's Kiss like Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella sold it like she didn't know how to sell it.
Nikki Bella sold it like she was Naruto running. This was the fucking best. This was... It was great. It was...
You could literally feel her thinking, how do I sell this, make it look convincing and not stupid, and not injure myself?
Oh, and it was spectacular. Oh, I can't be mad at this.
Wonky.
It was so funny. And then, the ones on the table were bad enough. Then Stephanie rolls her back in the ring and does it again, and they were even worse.
That was funny, right? Want to see it again? And Nikki's just like, please, no. I don't know how to sell this. No.
Oh, it was so funny. Oh, I thought it was great.
And even in our group chat, I told you, just wait till you see Nikki try to sell this move. Just you wait.
And you know what? I don't even blame her a bit. Because she's thinking like, if you get bashed on your head, you get paralyzed and your limbs go stiff. I'm sure that was the reasoning behind it. Like, I'm sure there was some logic to how she sold that. It's just funny.
It was pretty funny.
It was just the first thing I thought of was the Naruto running as her head got smashed into the canvas.
What is it about Survivor Series and women being put in unwinnable scenarios where they're like, I don't know how to sell this, but I'll try.
Oh, it was good. It was classic. And so I wasn't even mad. And honestly, this was a hell of a strong finish for Stephanie Vaquer. Devil's Kiss on the announce table, Devil's Kiss in the ring, and then a corkscrew splash does it. And there's no rebuttal. That was a hell of a convincing win to give Stephanie Vaquer over a former champion. So I get why they booked it the way they booked it. I actually didn't hate this for the piece of business they were trying to get across. And
I will say I like that they gave Stephanie a decisive win. And her Stardust press looks beautiful every time.
And I'm willing to believe that this definitive kind of win is a statement to tell us that she's going to be an important figure in the women's division, no matter how good or bad it is, for the foreseeable future for this company, that they have a level of investment in Stephanie. They should, honestly. Okay. Almost done.
Are you ready, Sean?
Well, let me throw my piece of paper.
So we finally We finally had a War Games match on this show, Sean.
Well, you say this, but I had myself quite a fun one that was at the beginning of the show. And also, it's weird having a War Games during the daylight. I must admit, like, having that match happen as early as it did, and to have, like, ladies fighting in a cage in the day, it was just, the aesthetic was strange. It was strange. Anyway, well, here comes the men's spot fest, plus pigs. War pigs. Again. And
Speaking of again, Sean, who was on the babyface team?
It's the Bloodline and Cody and Punk.
Who was in the War Games men's babyface side last year?
It's the Bloodline and
and CM Punk.
and last year and the year before that as the heels, it was the Bloodline and yeah.
Can we please?
And CM Punk returned on that show.
Yep. Can we please have a different top of the program? Please. It's the same thing every year.
Well, that's what you get when you do Spot Fest shows. When you do gimmick match shows like War Games. They got rid of Hell in a Cell and replaced it with War Games, and it's not better.
Can we not have War Games for like 3 years, please? I miss when Survivor Series was Survivor Series.
We've been talking about the damage that this year has done to the psyche of wrestling fans. Not only have I seen fans wanting Vince back, I've also seen fans missing SmackDown versus fucking Raw.
Yeah.
Because of this.
And honestly, I'm kind of one of them.
I miss softball with a good hot dog and some French fries and
I miss the company jacking itself off. Like, these are our two brands. The company's softball game.
Well, having a cage match for the sake of having a cage match is never a good idea. But having a team cage match for the sake of having a team cage match is it's a worse idea.
Yeah, it gets old quick.
And the sad part is there was a lot of star power in this match, and it didn't matter. And
I mean, the match was fine, but it was just that fine.
Well, Punk comes first and gets an enormous pop. I will say, it is, like, despite everything we've said, it is nice seeing CM Punk as a world champion in WWE again. It is. It absolutely is. He's more than earned it. And he's wearing a Larry's Dad jacket, which was cool. His entrance took a long time. Braun Breaker comes out, and that is a collar and elbow tie-up.
Yes.
That is how you do one of those, Asuka. Braun gets the power advantage. I wrote down Braun powers advantage, comma, dog, period. You all know, I'm sure that means he went, ooh, 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 and everyone went into it, but I just wrote down dog, period. Punk gets a heel kick that was very nice, looked like it hit him right in the mush.
That heel kick was gorgeous.
Yeah. These two, when they have a one-on-one, they're going to have some chemistry.
Apparently the idea, from what I've heard, is this might be the main event of one of the nights of Mania 42.
I wouldn't be mad at that, honestly.
Me either.
I wouldn't. Then we get these exploder tosses. The heels have the advantage in this one. Drew is next. Drew still hates Punk, as evidenced by a Claymore and an eye gouge.
And we actually got some juice in this match.
Now, where the hell did he get it? I'm trying to figure out when he got busted open. I rewound it 4 times, and I cannot find out the moment that he got split.
I assume it's like the long dart, because they did the long dart into the cage. And then they cut away. They had him not on camera for a suspicious amount of time.
As Cody was making his entrance. Yeah. And also, I know that Punk is one of the top guys and Cody's one of the top guys, but is it not a little bit of an indictment that both world champions were the first ones on the babyface team to be put in this match.
And apparently, according to the dirt sheets, the always reliable dirt sheets, there was some arguing, some disagreement earlier in the day as to who was the order of people coming out.
Well, the thing is that given the people who were coming afterwards, I mean, Jey Uso and, whatever, but, like, the fact that it was both world champions and then Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, it's like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. They still care about the big beefaronis.
Yeah.
And maybe they're, oh, God. I'm terrified to live in a world where we're going to get a Roman Brock Mania again, but maybe Saudi...
That's not the apparent idea for Mania 42, though.
But they are in Saudi Arabia for Mania 43.
Ugh.
And that might be a possibility.
I hope not.
I hope not, too. But
we've seen enough of Roman and Brock to last 4 lifetimes.
Well, clearly not by this match's standards.
And it was good a grand total of twice.
Yep. And once was the last time.
Yeah.
And anyway, they get an oops back elbow to CM Punk by Cody.
I will say, I do like that they didn't save the diving off the cage spot for the end of the match. That's how Cody entered the match. I like that.
Yep, although when Drew held the door and Cody had to climb over the side, I'm like, didn't we just do this? We just did this.
I was none the wiser.
You were none the wiser.
Don't watch women.
Yeah, well, you watch some women. But
because of our stupid rule where we can only skip one match.
I know, and that's becoming more and more of the show.
Yeah, it's like a cancer that's slowly eating away at the show.
I know and you know what?
I also do not like that it's a growing trend of every show we watch. I'm like, I hate that I have to pick what to skip when there's multiple things I don't want to watch.
Yeah.
It's increasing.
And it's not like in the Vince era where there were 6 or 7 things on the show. There's 4.
Yeah.
There's fucking 4, which is another problem in and of itself. Like, these matches did not need to all go this long. To be fair, they didn't need to all go this long either. And I'm not saying anything about Dom and Cena or Stephanie and Nikki, although that could have been a little shorter, but it was fine. But anyway, back to this match. The hot attack, the doomsday device that Braun Breaker took and landed on his neck on. Good
oh my
God. Is he okay? Like, genuinely. He might have been having adrenaline running to do the rest of that match, but that scared me.
That was terrifying.
It was. And honestly, but I must say that Cody and Punk did about as good a service to the Road Warriors as they could by nearly crippling the people they did.
And nearly paralyzing someone.
That was a hell of a tribute, boys. Good. Well done.
That's a nice neck you have. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
And of course it was a Steiner.
Right after Cody did a promo, it was like, there's never been a Steiner that's better than a Rose.
Generationally.
Now watch me break your neck, actually.
Yeah, the lore behind all of that was truly layered. And, anyway, then we get a bionic elbow. Logux Paulino comes in. This time we're going to the department store, hardware store underneath the ring. And we get some chairs. And Cody and Logan Paul do a punt yay boo on top of the cage. There's a double superplex with a bicep flex. Stop me anytime. Here comes Jimothy Uso, and here comes the table.
Jimmy Uso's outfit was weird.
Yeah, sure. Well, at least he wasn't dressing up like earlier Logan Paul, like his brother was.
He looked like the Godfather, except Samoan.
He looked like Samoan Flava Flav before, without all the wrinkles. But Anyway, we get a Braun Steiner to Cody on the selling ring that they barely almost miss. In comes Reed, tsunamis to everyone. Cody's juice happens. Forget where. Braun does a press slam lung blower that's pretty cool.
And then...
And here comes everyone's favorite wrestler, the wrestler of the year, Jey Uso.
When he did the shitty move, the 3 or 4 shitty moves he knows how to do, and then he did the play it back, and then they started playing his music again, and then he got on top of the cage and started violating the War Games cage. I wanted to turn the show off.
It's true. That is what happened.
I hate this man. Do you remember when I really, really hated Braun Strowman?
I do.
Do you remember when I really, really hated John Cena?
I do.
Sean, we have a new person that I really, really, really hate. This fucking guy.
Damn, y'all.
This is supposed to be War Games.
Well, that's on Triple H, though. That's on Triple H for doing clearly Vince bullshit. This is the dance break with Carmella and R-Truth all over again.
Except I'd rather watch R-Truth and Carmella do that.
Well, let me tell you, though, Josh, again, this is a funny thing that we said back at WrestleMania. If they're going to put the title on them, they have to do it now because this is going to be the peak. There are less and less people yeeting for Jey Uso. Every week, it's less and less people. And when they ran it back, if you looked in the crowd, it was way fewer hands up than there used to be.
Thank God LA Knight just beat him on Raw. Thank God.
I hope that truly signifies the end of it.
We said that when CM Punk beat him.
I know.
We said that when Gunther took the title back.
I know. And yet
they still like, let's have him win this match.
You think they'll have him win consecutive Rumbles?
I've been thinking about that.
I don't think so. I think they've got bigger matches at hand, honestly. I don't think they can.
I would say maybe they've learned a lesson that, Jey Uso sucks, don't push him, but these people are incapable of learning.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I just don't know anymore. But then Jey Uso's dressed like early Logan Paul for some reason. Usos do Uso shit is what I wrote down.
Logan Paul, when they tried to do the 1D on Logan Paul jumped a little early, so it kind of looked weird, but also Logan Paul is so athletic, he almost jumped out of the 1D.
And I also think it's funny that they did a 1D while there's a table in the background. And they're mentioning the Dudleys. I'm like, well, you had the opportunity to do the real one. And instead
Sean, that table's for something else. Like promoting Slim Jims.
Mostly for promoting Slim Jims. So he does I said, fuck the run back, brother. Baba. Fuck the raisin balls, Jey Uso. There are less playing along now than ever, is what I wrote. And then and it just wouldn't stop. He was Punk finally was like, fuck this, I'm going back to fighting somebody.
I will say, as angry as I was when Jey Uso was doing that, Brock Lesnar interrupting it was perfect.
I've never been happier to see Brock interrupt something.
That was such a babyface move from, the heel.
It was. It really was. I literally said, thank God for Brock. Brock comes in and wrecks everybody.
And it was glorious. And also painful looking because he was suplexing people on top of weapons.
Yeah, well...
that hurt.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
It's not good shit.
Then Roman comes down, and this is what I didn't like. You stick to a rule. If you get in the cage, you can't get out of the cage. It's a disqualification. I know Wade did his best to do the wraparound loophole. It was dumb. Either stick to the rule or don't do the rule. I don't like this wishy-washy shit.
Here's what I didn't like. Roman, can you find a way to attack Brock that, involves something other than the Superman punch?
No.
The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Sir, no, and fuck you for asking. And
although I will say, as much as you hate the new announce tables, I did like that he finally F5'd him through the announce table with that.
I think that's the first time I've seen one of those eyebrow tables break. Oh God, are they eyebrows because of The Rock?
Okay, now I think you're too deep into the weeds.
Oh God, I've entered the rabbit hole here. I'm gonna have a conspiracy theory. The Rock and Travis Scott are poisoned in the water and catering.
Sean, you've had the tinfoil hat on for too long.
Hello, I'm Colonial Jones, and this is the Court-Martail podcast.
Lord.
Anyway, there's an F5 through the table. War Games.
Did you notice, by the way, I don't know if... I can't remember exactly when it happened. There was supposed to be a spot where Logan Paul nut-shotted Cody. Did you notice?
He did it 3 times.
No, it was just twice. It was just twice.
Oh.
Because they did the spot where Logan low blows Cody, but they mistimed it because the camera was focusing on something else, but just out of the peripheral. You could see Logan low blowing Cody. And then 3 minutes later, they were like, shit.
Same spot. And same spot. I did notice that.
And I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah. And
First off, I feel sorry for Cody's nuts. Second, guys, this is the main event of one of the alleged Big Four in the biggest wrestling company in the world. Can we get our shit together, please?
With a bum-ass San Diego crowd. And the redundant brass knucks from Paul Heyman to Logan Paul, also known as Paul. Superman punches with the knucks. Because that's all Roman Reigns knows how to do. Braun versus Roman. Roman Reigns hits a spear. Roman Reigns hits a spear. Brock goes through a table. Roman Reigns hits a spear. Drew low blows Cody twice. Also.
Cody's poor nuts.
And then, oh look, another hooded stranger. That's.
Well, before that, there was another botch because CM Punk hit the GTS on Logan Paul, and someone was supposed to break it up, but they were switching to, there's a hooded figure. And the timing was not right, and they just were like, 1, 2, 3. Oh, look, a hooded guy. And the cover was kind of broken up. Kind of. You weren't supposed to. That wasn't the foreground, so whatever's not in the foreground isn't important.
That's right.
Even if it includes low blows.
Look at it directly in front of you. Pay no attention to the back of the screen.
WWE fans are like dinosaurs. if you're moving outside of the line of vision, they're just blind to it.
Well, and if the hooded stranger was dressed up in a peacock outfit, then I would understand. But no, it's another black hoodie and black pants.
They can't do peacock because they don't have that streaming service except for Saturday night's main event and the tape library.
Well, they didn't even dress him up as a fucking cameraman. Anything else except black hoodies and black sweats. You guys are the only people keeping the Gap in fucking business. Stop.
But Sean, this one had a black mask on as well.
Wow, watch me not give a fuck.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, Sean is not gonna like that.
It's just so redundant. Can we please come up with something different? Solo Sikoa debuted in this same outfit 3 years ago. This is
Rhea Ripley
ridiculous.
joined the Judgment Day with this outfit years ago.
Dude, the entirety of the motherfucking tree or whatever they're called, they all came in with black hoodies. Jamie Uso in a black hoodie. Jey Uso in a black hoodie. Sammy's done the black hoodie.
Yep.
Guys, come up with something else. This is not this hard. Come on, and you think that people aren't gonna notice this shit. Don't slap me in the face and feed me fucking baby food. And try to figure out what that analogy means. This is how fucking broken I am because of this shit.
Sean is losing.
This is Braun does the double straps and pins Punk, and the crowd died, just like my enthusiasm.
Dude, when's the last time we've been this just downtrodden and defeated from a wrestling show?
This is, I don't want to say this is Royal Rumble 2022 bad, but I would say we're in the middle of 2021 bad. No, it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad.
It's just, it's similar.
It's just, the disinterest is different because it's more Vince just, how do I put it? Vince just didn't give a fuck. He just said fuck you in a different way. I guess it isn't that different because they're both saying fuck you. It's just that we got it from like 6 different dimensions from this new ownership. So it just feels different, but no, you're right. It is not that different.
It just feels like we're in a filler arc that's just never ending.
Yeah. We're not
like WrestleMania 40 was the season finale, and it's just we've been in this endless filler arc.
But see, the thing is, it's
going nowhere.
Well, and the problem is that AEW is falling down even worse. You know, that's the thing we mentioned about, like, is there somebody capitalizing on this? No, because Tony's so inept that he can't figure it out. And he's in a rut, and he's hit the wall, and he thinks everything he's doing is great, and it's getting less people than ever before. You know, and it's just a bad time to be in part of wrestling. You know, and maybe the script will flip, but right now I'm feeling less confident than ever. We'll see what happens on the Saturday night main event that they're gonna do for Cena's last show. I don't know whether that's going to be the last show I see or not. I don't think I'm going to watch the Rumble. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. At this stage, I just don't know.
It depends on certain things happening or not happening.
True. Because I think the potential for Vince to be back is higher than it's ever been. I hate to say that, but I think it's true. Given the way that this has been booked, given the way that this year has glorified Vince's booking in a way that I didn't think was going to be possible, I didn't think you could be this inept to make people miss Vince McMahon's booking. But here we are.
Yeah.
And
so, Sean, now that we're getting into grading for this show, what were your overall thoughts in retrospect of what was once a Big Four Survivor Series?
Well, there were 4. It's a Big Four because there were 4 big, long fucking matches on it. And they were overinflated and ate way too many cookies at the Thanksgiving table.
Damn it, Grandma.
And, if I wish. But, in any case, I really debated what I should grade this because it wasn't a bad show, but given the standard that Triple H had put up, remember how we said we had to up our standards? It's so tragic that we have to lower that bar again.
Yeah, we might have spoken too soon.
We may have gotten too swept up in the moment, as did a lot of people. How could you not? With everything. They were firing on all cylinders for so long, and it just felt like this long stretch of quality programming, and that they couldn't miss, and then they couldn't hit. And they could have gone pro if it weren't for their bum knee. You know, it
That's the perfect way to describe Jey Uso. Just the company's bum leg.
And it's it's more of a Siamese twin that they need to separate conjoined at the hip. But
Pulling away at their life support.
But in any case, I'm not mad at WWE. I just, again, my passion for the modern wrestling is just at a very low point right now. And if depending on what happens on the 13th, I'll ask a couple philosophical questions about what we do and what kind of programming that we watch. Because Skylar's going to take, especially if worse comes to worse, he's going to take a very definitive moral stance on the subject and never watch modern wrestling or wrestling again. I don't know what his parameters are going to be. But
Yeah.
if we go back to watching old wrestling, what is going to be the guideline to that? But in any case, this show itself to me gets, I don't know, a 5.5, maybe a 6. It's fine. It's fine, but it's compared to what we once got, you can't help but feel disappointed.
Yeah. And Skylar, although he did not join us and he was not able to give us notes because he's sick at the moment, he also said that he thought that this show was a show. He also gave it a 5.5. And I also agree. This show was fine. There. Perfectly acceptable. It's just that I would like to have something, more than just perfectly acceptable. I'm giving this show a 5.5 as well. WWE, please prove us wrong and make 2026 a comeback year, please.
Yeah.
Asking for a friend, please.
Well,
I miss 2024.
Yeah, me too. And the other little piece to this, and Skylar sent this, I'm not going to listen to the whole podcast, but Ariel Hawani was talking about UFC, but a lot of it relates to wrestling. And it's the major parts of it is, it just feels so uninspired. The matchmaking feels uninspired. The promotion feels uninspired. The announcements feel uninspired. Everything feels uninspired. I'm sorry if I care so much. I'm sorry if I care this much about the product. I get accused of being a hater. No, it's because I care. I love it so much. And I get that. But it's hard feeling the love right now for WWE. It's hard feeling the love for wrestling right now, given what we've got as options.
Well, Sean, I feel the love for you, my friend.
Likewise. And that's what matters, folks. So stay tuned. We're gonna be doing some stuff in the future. I mean, stay tuned for my WCW 2000 Nitro review. But I got some stuff cooking up for the podcast, as well as TAW. It's got a lot going on in the next couple of weeks. There's a lot going on in both of our lives and shows, in all facets. So stay tuned. There is a plethora of multimedia coming your direction. But in the meantime, it is time to go to our first commercial break. Thank you all for watching this terrific episode of the Court-Martail podcast. Sunnier days are ahead, but I'm not just talking about, you know what, never mind, we're done. We'll be right back right after this.